The bill also removes fire suppressors from regulation under the National Firearms Act, replacing the federal transfer process with a national instant criminal background check. Suppressors are important devices to reduce hearing damage for shooters. My father himself suffered from it, as well as to reduce noise at shooting ranges located near residential areas.
It is also worth noting that this legislation was originally scheduled to be heard before the committee on the very morning that a shooter targeted members of Congress at a baseball practice. Lives were spared that day because people recognized the unique sound of gunfire and were able to take cover.
The first shot actually didn't sound like a gunshot at all. It sounded as if somebody had pushed a filing cabinet out the back of a truck and it hit. It was a very metallic sound. It didn't sound like gunfire, but the idea of maybe using that as a reason to not have silencers is something I questioned in your testimony. And thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yield back.
I want to start by associating myself with my colleague, Mr. Pierce's comments, and ask Mr. Chipman in particular to refrain from using the attack, the horrific attack on our colleagues, spreading falsehoods about it as a tool to try to impose additional gun control.
Game.
And Joe, we have Senator Rand Paul on the phone. He was in the batting cage when this happened. Senator, thank you for being on with us. Can you tell us what you heard and saw?
Well, I was in the batting cage at the time, and the first shot was sort of an isolated shot. You know, I grew up in the South, and I just thought someone had discharged a shotgun, which isn't that unusual in the South. But then I thought, well, we are in the city. We're not in the country here. But then after the first shot, then there was a rapid succession of shots, you know.
We were doing batting practice, and there are a number of members and staff fielding. Steve Scalise was on second base, playing second base, fielding balls, and all of a sudden we heard a very loud shot. Everybody thought that sounds like a gun, and the gunman was over by the third base dugout.